All right. There's my live button. I think I'm on. Welcome to my Scentsy Weekly Hangout. I wanted to thank y'all for joining. If you are here and joining live, give yourself a big thank you for a personal commitment for taking time out of our busy schedules to actually sit down and put some time commitment into your Scentsy business. So way to go. Way to go. As always, I start off with a little bit of housekeeping. If this is your first time watching, my name is Jacqui Duran. I am an independent Scentsy consultant. Let me just restart that. Don't you love live? I have been a consultant for 3 years now, and I have some pretty mighty goals in line for myself for my Scentsy business in 2015. I hope to stay on track and promote is my first goal for myself, and to continue to grow my customer base and really put some more time and effort into my business. If you guys follow me at all and it's not your first time joining us, then you know that my goal is to really think about my Scentsy business as an actual business and not a hobby anymore. So that's the number one personal commitment that I have put in place for myself for this year. So I'm trying my best to stay on track, as always. In my little housekeeping each week, I'm letting you know that I am obviously, because I'm not in a posh office or house, I am not an official Scentsy training. So remember, I am an independent Scentsy consultant. This is not an official training. I always, always, always recommend that if you have specific training questions or issues or concerns or anything like that, take those to your sponsor, to your director, to your superstar director, star directors, everybody up your upline. So follow that chain up and be sure to use your resources. If you do not or cannot get a hold of them or just are not getting the answers that you need, that is when I would always suggest that you call consultant support at Scentsy. You can find that phone number there on your workstation. As a consultant, what I recommend to all of my team and to all of you is to actually put it into your phone. That's the only way I remember any phone number anymore, is putting it in my phone. So that's a good place for it. That way it's always at your fingertips. You don't have to worry about asking or trying to remember what it is or searching for it on your workstation. So that's a good tip. Put it in your phone. Anyway, these weekly hangouts, obviously these are my tips, these are my tricks, these are things that work for me. I encourage you, just like I do encourage myself, to take the different YouTube videos that you watch, any other videos out there that you watch, any trainings that you attend, anything like that, even if it's not Scentsy related and it's just a leadership course or class or whatever it is. Take those ideas and make them your own. That's what I have done. That's what works for me. And you kind of have to find your niche. And when you find your niche, you have to kind of snuggle in and really, really make it your own and own it and live there, because that is where you're going to have your best success, is when you find what works best for you and your business and be consistent with it. Best tip I have ever learned and best tip I can always share with all of you, my friends. Last bit of housekeeping. Hopefully I have done it correctly. Last week I thought I did it correctly, but I don't think I did. There should be a Q&A bar. When I'm looking on my screen, it's over here on this side. If you do have a question, if you're joining us live, you can always type that in. I'll be more than happy to answer a question in real time for you, because obviously that's the whole point of the live Google Hangout, is to be able to do this with you live. So if you're having questions and you want them answered or just curious or need me to repeat something, more than happy to do so. Don't be afraid to ask. There's never, never, never a silly question in my book. And to keep on time commitment, I've got my little agenda here. So I'm going to stay on track because I want to be mindful of your time and my time. And very quickly, I'm going to say I started to, when I decided I was going to do these once a week, I thought that Monday would be the very best night for it. I quickly learned tonight when I got home from work and was kind of getting everything ready for the evening, and I realized that Monday nights are castle nights. And in 2015, one of my personal commitments to myself is to do things that make me happy. And one of the things that makes me happy is some of my favorite TV shows. And one of those TV shows happens to be Castle. It's actually on as I speak. So if my heart is aching, that would be why. It's because I am missing my favorite show, but I'm missing it for a very good reason. It's for you guys and to keep my commitment to that. But going forward, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move these to Tuesdays. So I hope that works for you. If any of you do join live, I hope Tuesdays works for you. I'm going to keep it the same time slot because that works perfect for me. I can get the little one in bed and not have to fuss with her or worry about her getting in the way of a live hangout. So Tuesday next week, okay? Is that okay with everybody? I hope so. The really, really, really great thing that I love about these Google Hangouts is as soon as this is over, it automatically saves to my YouTube and uploads itself. I don't even have to do anything. I just hit stop broadcast and it automatically goes to my YouTube page. So I don't want you guys to feel like you have to totally block out your evening just to be able to get in and watch these. You do not. You do not. The beauty of our Scentsy business and the way that it's designed is you can kind of do your training 24/7. The majority of my own team, if you're not watching right now, you can actually watch these anytime you want. So, and that's what they kind of have to do too. They've got kids, they've got responsibilities, they've got jobs and everything else going on just like I do. So this is a really, really, really great way. So if you can't make it on Tuesdays, don't stress about it at all. You're not going to miss out. That just means either when you're available on later on Tuesday night or the next day or whenever throughout the week, and you've got some time, you can always hop on and rewatch. So if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You should be able to find it when we get out of this, or if it's not on your screen, I don't know. I only see one portion of my screen right now. You can most certainly do that. And if you need a link, don't hesitate to comment, email, shout out to me on Facebook, wherever, Instagram. And I'll be more than happy to post it for you. So anyway, we're staying on track, right? Right. We totally are. Okay. First thing on my little agenda here, your personal commitment. Did you watch last week? If you haven't had a chance to watch last week, I did a huge step. I went out and bought myself a planner, people. But remember, I don't like the word planner, so I renamed it personal commitments. That's what I'm doing for 2015. I'm making personal commitments to me because that's, in a sense, what it matters most to is myself. So I don't want to let myself down. I like setting goals, but I find that goals can sometimes be intimidating. So personal commitments just sounds better in my head. And I know I'm weird and odd like that. So that's what I call it. So remember every day what I did. If you haven't watched from last week, you can always rewatch it. The joy of a Google Hangout going to my YouTube. But every day is a different thing that I touch on. So that way I'm working my business all throughout the week. And I'm doing my best to touch on every single part of my business. So last week was the very first week that I actually used a paper planner. It actually went pretty well. I'm sitting here laughing and giving myself a hard time, but I actually really did well. Tuesday on my training day, I had, which actually works for me moving my Google Hangouts to Tuesdays, so score on that. I reached out on my challenge tab on my workstation and I actually read through that, looked at the calendar, and plotted out some of those challenges. So I stayed on track with that. Wednesday, I did hit the post office. I didn't get everything out like I should have. I actually forgot a couple of things. So if my customers are watching, you know that Jacqui forgot, and Jacqui is still coming to you literally in my purple bag that is going in the car for Wednesday this week. So I promise I will get it out to you. I actually did some marketing on Thursday. On Friday, I got some samples together to get out to some people who had requested some samples, so that was done. I did a lot of organizing last Saturday because Saturday is my organizing day, so I really did a lot of work with that. And Sunday is always blocked off as family day, and I did really, really well with not doing too much, but spending some good quality time with my family. So all in all, I did pretty well my first week out. My tech self had to pry myself away from my calendar on my phone for a lot of those things, and I did. So kudos. And if you were able to do it, then I salute you too. So good job. Even if you only stuck to one or two of them and you weren't able to do all of them or forgot some of them, that's okay. Every week is a new week. You can start over again. So set up your schedule. Like I said, if you missed out last week, you can always catch up and rewatch it. So this week I reached out to my team and I asked them what a good subject for this week's hangout was, and I thought that parties would be a good topic for tonight's or weekly hangout, because not only is it the beginning of the year and we're really working on getting our business started and going for the entire year, but it's always a good subject to touch on, I think, in my book, because there's 3 things you should always be working in your Scentsy business. That would be booking parties, that would be selling, and that would be recruiting. 3 things that you should be doing at all times. Whatever project it is that you're doing should revolve around one of those 3 things. So parties is obviously a big one. I will say how do I want to say this? One of the misconceptions I had when I joined Scentsy as a hobby, remember I joined as a hobby and worked it that way for quite a long time. And I'm just amping up now. But one of the misconceptions I had was, as a Scentsy consultant, that I would have to have home parties all the time in order to be successful. And for a long time, I truly thought that's what I was missing. That was like the missing link in my business. I was like, it's because I'm not having enough home parties. That's why I'm not succeeding in where I want to be, and I'm not a director by now. That's why. No, it's not why. It's because I wasn't thinking about it as a business, and I was working it as a hobby and not putting enough time and commitment into it. So, do you hear my cat? She's probably telling me that you're right, Jacqui. You were completely right. You were not focusing like you should have been. So that is a big misconception. Now, obviously, we are in the home selling business. So we're in a direct selling business. And so one of the big things is home parties. Yes, home parties are great. But the way that I look at things is, again, find your niche. Find where you belong, what works for you, what makes you happy, what you're good at. Because honestly, not all of us are amazing when it comes to home parties. That's okay. You do not have to be successful with Scentsy and to make it what you want it to be. I happen to really enjoy and flourish better when I'm doing social media. So that's why I do more YouTube videos. I do a lot of Instagram. I do a lot of Pinterest. I do a lot of Twitter. I do a lot of social media. And it's not just because my cats are literally going insane right now. Pay no attention. So it's not because I think that's the best way to do it. It's just, again, that is what works for me in my business. Those are the areas that I excel in. So those are the areas I focus on and I really, really concentrate on. So I encourage you to do the same. So whether that is social media, whether that is home parties, for a lot of consultants that I know, it's events. Oh my gosh, I know a lot of consultants who truly, they just do events like all year round. That's what they do. And they are amazing at it. I myself, I'm not that big of an event girl. I will do events throughout the year. I do a small handful throughout the year, being 2015 and really trying to amp things up. I might step out of my comfort zone and maybe look for a little bit more than I normally have in the past. But honestly, events just aren't for me. For one, I don't carry a lot of inventory on hand. As a Scentsy consultant, you guys know this if you are. That's one of the beauties of our business. You do not have to have inventory on hand. I know other direct selling companies, and I know other girls who are in the direct selling business, and a lot of their companies focus on you have to have, you know, product on hand to be able to sell. That's part of it. That's just what you have to do. And with Scentsy, it's totally not that. If you want to have inventory on hand, then have it on hand. If you don't want to, you do not have to. That's the great thing. People can get on your website, they can order through you, and you can submit your parties through your workstation. You don't have to have that inventory. But for those of you out there, if you're watching, or if you just feel that, you know, you're a people person and events are where it's at for you, then I suggest that's probably something that you're going to have to invest in, is to be able to look at making sure that you've got inventory on hand to do those events. Because events, I have done events where I've had very little inventory. I will say that the very top sellers for me when I'm doing an event are bars and bulbs. It just happens to work out that way for me. I don't sell a whole lot of warmers when I'm at events, mainly because the events that I do are usually smaller events. I don't do huge events. For one, I don't have the out-of-pocket to put up for a huge booth fee, and I don't have, again, the inventory. I don't have that inventory. You guys have probably seen it if you go to any of these large, you know, events or showings, things like that, where you walk in and there's this woman with a Scentsy table that is like spread out for miles, it seems. And those women amaze me. They really, really amaze me, because I'd love to be able to be in that spot someday, but I don't see myself there, and that's okay. I don't have to be. But if that's you, then you're going to have some inventory on hand, because the majority of what I see, like I said, are people who want to come in, they see the Scentsy logo on my tablecloth, and they immediately come over and they know what they want. These are Scentsy fans. So they want their bars, they maybe need some replacement bulbs, or they're looking for a new consultant just that's local to the area and they need to connect with. So those are the kinds of things that I find at events. So just something to keep in mind. You, of course, have your home party. We all know the home party. Plenty of videos on that. I have to say, in my personal business, I love home parties. I love doing home parties. However, for my customer base, I don't have a lot of customers who either have the time to have the home parties, or can really generate the people, you know, like the guests, to have time to come to their home parties. So I don't do a whole lot of them. I wish I did more. I'd love to do more. I'm looking to do more. Let's put it that way. I want to put it as a personal commitment. I'm going to do a personal commitment to do more home parties in 2015. So for me, again, you know, what works in my best ways are pouch parties, basket parties. Those are where it's at for me. I do have a handful of customers that are completely out of state. I've never met them in person. And I love them to pieces. I love them to pieces because they're honestly some of my very best hosts. They do amazing. And basically what I do is I mail them out a basket / pouch party. So depending on what kind of party they're looking for, I'll try and do my best to send them what they need. But obviously your essentials are the catalogs, order forms, testers. Depending on where I'm at with testers, 9 times out of 10, I will just ask them to simply just mail back the testers after the party is closed and is over and they're done with them. Otherwise, I tell them to, you know, if they've got extra catalogs, anything like that, to, you know, feel free to hang on to those. Anything else that I've sent them, maybe samples, anything like that, are for them, for hosting for me. But the only thing that I'm mainly worried about are the testers coming back to me, simply because that way I can get them back in circulation. I really do try and buy extra testers as I can when my budget allows for my business expenses. So I try and have as many as I can on hand, but depending on the catalog and how far we are into the catalog, like so far, we're what, 1 month out from this catalog ending. So I probably don't have half the testers that I originally started with when the catalog started. I just don't. That's just the way it works. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I want them out circulating anyway. And the majority of them stick with the hosts that host on a regular basis for me. So I'm fine with that too. So let me just show you the examples. If you follow me on YouTube, if you don't, you should. You should subscribe. I've got some videos out there on pouch parties and different kinds of parties. Seriously, I have no idea what my cats are doing. But I'm going to show you very quickly what I do for a pouch party. Pouch parties seem to be the most popular for me. I like to get these guys circulating. So here is my pouch party. It is a standard pencil pouch that you find in the school supply section at Target, at Walmart, Dollar Store, wherever you happen to be. I find that the best time of year to buy them is back to school time, because I can usually grab these babies sometimes for like 50 cents a piece. So I will just jam a whole bunch in my cart and just use them up all year round. But they're really, really great because the size is kind of perfect for a good portion of my customers. They can throw these in their purse. Sometimes they fit in their purse. If they don't fit in their purse, and they fit in the bag or whatever they're carrying. So it's small enough. It's got everything they need. It's got catalogs, it's got order forms. There's a host and join in there. The one thing I do is for testers. Obviously, I do a small sampling of testers when I do a pouch party. Now, again, it goes by season. So depending on the season right now, I have more of the winter scents in here right now. I do have some, and it truly is more of a random thing, unless somebody specifically, if one of my hosts is specifically saying, hey, everybody that I know loves just like the favorites line, those are the ones that I know are going to sell for me, then I'll make sure that I'm throwing in those scents. Otherwise, it is truly a random scent sampling of testers, and I try to just throw the most popular ones in and a good sampling of all the categories. But other than that, it's very, as you can see, it's very, very basic. It truly is. But I try and get as many of these out, and that's why, because they're so cost effective, and I'm not using all of my testers all at once. I can get at least, you know, 5 or 6 of these circulating throughout the month. And think about it. I mean, do the math. If you're putting 5 of them out there, and 5 of them are coming back with qualifying parties at $150 each, you're having a pretty decent month, guys. So if nothing else, make them up. It's very easy to get them out there. I will always tease my friends and everything and be like, hey, who wants to babysit one of my pouches for a couple of weeks and earn some host rewards? Why not? That's very, very easy. This month is January. It is Bring Back My Bar. So I do have some hosts who truly just want to bring back my bar party. So for them, again, these are all on the go. That just seems to be my customer base and what they prefer and what they desire. I am here to please my customers, so what works for them works for me. So to make it easier, here you go. Here's my Bring Back My Bar. It's my samples of all 20 cents, and they're in there. I still always put a catalog and order forms in there because it never fails. Even when they're passing it out, they may still run into somebody who doesn't know about Scentsy or is looking for a new warmer too. And And maybe they don't just want bring back my bars, but maybe they've got some customers who also want some of the regular scents and things like that in there. So make sure you at least put a catalog in there if you're doing those specialty parties. The next one, oops, I'm going to dump everything out over here. The next one is, this is a sample of my bag party. And it's probably really hard to see in this video. On the front, it says, "Smell Me." This is one of my 31 bags, and I love this little tote. My consultant at 31 can probably tell you exactly what it's called, and I totally don't remember it. So Carolyn, I apologize. I forgot the name of it. It's a cute little name, I know that, but I love this thing because it's perfect for a tote party. I use it at my home parties too. It's really cool to put the testers in it and pass it around because, that's why it says "Smell Me." Smell me, because that's where I put them all. This is what I like to call my amped up version of the pouch party. Okay, pouch party is simple, quick, easy to carry. It's super, super, super easy, right? Basket or a tote party is just like one notch up. Okay, so I've kicked it up a notch. I've got some monthly special flyers. I have a, if I can get it out without pulling everything out. I have, these are one of the Scentsy bank bags. I think that's what they call them in the Scentsy family store, is the bank bag. I love these guys. I grab these when they're on sale. But these bank bags are great. Not only for carrying, like as a bank bag, like your money or things when you're out running around doing parties, but for my tote parties, you'll see I have a wider variety of mini testers in there. All my catalogs, order forms, host and join, pen, there's a calculator in there. That's where all of that lives. So it's all in one like zippered pouch. So then in the rest of the tote, I kind of just do a mixture, and it always depends on what I have on hand. That's how I make up my basket. So in this one, it happens to have a scent pack. So there's a scent pack in here. There is a body lotion, and this is one of the specials that came out. It was during the summer. It had to have been during the summer months, but it's a Wink and a Smile. If you love that in bar, it was really fabulous in body lotion. But I always try and have at least 2 or 3 lotions or hand creams, depending on what I've got on hand. But I will open them, and that's what I use as like walking testers in a way. Okay, because I'm not making testers of lotion, but this is something I can put in here and say, hey, feel free to use it as you wish, or let your customers use it because it's fabulous. Room spray is in there as well, so they can check out a room spray, see what that's all about. I'll show you that last because I think it's the most important thing. I always throw a seasonal bar in. So this one happens to be Winter Pine. So Winter Pine is in there right now because we're still technically, we're in January, but we're still technically in that winter month. And then what I do, folks, this is what I do because I love, and I'm a huge fan of the Scentsy products itself. So I'm probably my best customer ever. Not that any of my customers are less than me. They're all amazing. I say my best customer because I have an addiction. So I have a lot. But I truly, truly, truly love the layers line. So the whiffs are a staple in my house. I usually use the tubs, but when I am closing a party and maybe I've got an extra perpetual reward or something, I'll get like a multi-pack or a combine and save pack of the whiffs and order those. So I have them on hand. So not only am I using them because that's what I do, I use them, but when they're done, or in this case, I save, again, not sure how much you can see. You can see there's enough in there for at least one load. But even if this thing was empty, I save the empties as well because these things are great They retain the scent so incredibly well. And of course, because this one still has whiffs in it, it's even better. But this way they can see the product, they can smell the product, they can actually, and I'll tell my host, feel free to use it. Use it. Throw a little towels in, hand towels, anything like that, and then carry some hand towels around with you and let people smell them. Trust me, these things work. I love the washer whiffs. I love, love, love them. They're amazing, but the containers, don't throw away your containers when you're done, okay? Save them, because even if they're empty and you didn't save any of what's in here, this scent will last forever. So it's a really great thing to be able to throw into a tote bag. And if it happens to not come back, that's okay, because it was an empty one anyway. So you're not truly out like a whole bunch of money, but it's a really great way for your customers to get an idea of the product. Again, it's all about scent. That's what we're about, guys. We're about scent and the scent experience. The only other thing on here about my tote is I actually have a cube of Ice Hotel. So I've got the scent of the month in there. And I usually will tell my host to just warm that as they wish. I have business cards in the outside here. And last but not least, because you guys know I love my layers line, I actually have one of the dryer discs just thrown in there. And this is one, these things last forever. It's sun-kissed citrus, so it matches that. But again, it's giving the customers an idea of the actual product. And that's the whole point of me upgrading and doing this big tote party, is to be able to give a wider variety of the different products that we have, because we are way more than just wax. You guys have heard that probably, I'm sure. But a lot of the people, even as familiar as they are, I have dedicated customers who love our wax, but if I happen to mention something like maybe the layers line or anything like that, they'll be like, what? Wait a minute, what's layer, or what's whiffs? What are those? I don't know what those are. Oh my gosh, why have you not ordered these yet? So I like to have those to have on hand. Other than that, so other than your traditional parties, right? You've got your events, you've got your home parties, you've got your pouch parties, you've got your tote parties or bag parties, basket parties, whatever you're calling them. Just put them in something. But the other things that you've got, you have the option of a Facebook party. If you have not done a Facebook party before, I say just trying it out. I used to do a lot more than I have lately. But Facebook parties for me they haven't been like astronomical by any means. I'm not saying I've had like, $1,000 party off of a Facebook party yet. But I do have pretty decent Facebook parties, guys. It's not a lot to be able to put in, what is it, 45 minutes or an hour. I don't suggest doing longer than an hour for a Facebook party, because I do mine in real time. You can also set them up as like an event to last like a couple weeks, but I like to do it in real time. Again, it's getting people connected. It's getting people to log on. I want them to be engaged and listening to what I'm saying, or typing in a Facebook party. Sometimes I'll do quick little videos and upload those into the Facebook party as well as we're going through it. I have a whole spiel on Facebook parties, whole spiel on it, and that will be obviously an upcoming weekly hangout discussion that we can most certainly talk about. So if you're curious about those, if you have not done one before, let me know, and I will definitely put that on one of the upcoming agendas. But along line at the Facebook parties, what are we doing right now? We're doing a Google Hangout party, right? Right? It's not a party because I'm not selling you anything, but it's still a party. It's still a party. You can do something like this live. If you don't know how to do a Google Hangout, go to YouTube and in the search bar type in, how do I do a Google Hangout live? And I guarantee you, you will get a whole page full of results, and they can show you in like 4 minutes. It is super, super easy. You do not have to be tech savvy to be able to do it. All you need is the desire, the commitment to do it, a webcam of some sort, whether it's on your computer, your laptop, what have you, your tablet, your iPad, whatever. Just set it up. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. So this is something that you can invite. If you have a host that wants to do one, that is even better, because then they can invite their friends. And maybe they live out of state. This is great for people who live out of state, because as you are sitting there in your comfy, cozy house, watching this, I can be showing you our warmers. I can be talking about our wax. I can be talking about our layers products. I can do the exact demonstration that I would do at a home party, only I'm doing it on your computer, and you didn't have to get dressed. You didn't have to find a babysitter for the kids. You didn't have to block anything out to go somewhere, worry about the weather, clean up the house, nothing at all. All you have to do is turn on your computer. Bam, here's Jacqui doing your face for a party for you. Easy, easy, easy. This is a great way to do it. Use technology. If you feel comfortable, I don't want to push you too far out of your comfort zone, but I encourage you to go a little bit out. So anyway, there is a very quick overview. We're about 5 minutes over. I really try and keep an eye on your time, because again, your time is just as valuable as my time, so I don't want to take up too much of it. Next Tuesday, because remember, we're going to do these on Tuesdays now, because Castle and Nathan Fillion make Jacqui happy, so I'm going to make some time for that. I got to work it into my Monday. On Tuesday next week, I am always up for options and ideas of things that you would like to see on an upcoming weekly hangout. So if there is a topic that you're curious about, maybe it's the Facebook party, maybe it's something that I've talked about, like last week I talked about how I will go through my week and I will actually schedule posts on Facebook from my fan page, so that way I don't have to touch it for the rest of the week and worry about it. Those posts will go out as scheduled. I don't even have to do anything, and they will go out on their own. Google Hangout is really great because it actually gives me an option to share my screen, so I can actually pull up and show you how I do that, if that is something that you're curious about or want more information on, or just a screenshot of anything in general. Maybe you're curious more about Pinterest, YouTube. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe a workstation video, anything like that. So anything that you can think of like that you think would be really great to do more hands-on or actually see. I'm a visual learner, so if you are as well, I completely understand. I'm right there with you. That's how I learn the best, is by watching things. I learn a lot from watching different consultants that I follow on YouTube, and that's where I get my ideas and kind of work to see what works for me and work it into my business. So if that's something that works for you, I am more than happy to share that with you as well. Some other topic suggestions that I've gotten is marketing, like the best ways to do marketing, follow-ups, how do you do your follow-ups, what's involved in follow-ups, how often should I do follow-ups, things like that. Those are the topics that I've got so far that I've been asked to do. So those are the ones that are on my list for you guys. Feel free to add to it. That is it for my agenda, folks. You totally can't see that because my screen's glowing like there's no tomorrow. But that was it for my agenda tonight, to, again, keep conscious of your time and not take too much of it. This is available for playback. So those of you who have joined live, thank you so much. I do not see, and again, forgive me if I didn't do it right again, but I hope I did. That Q&A box should be up there on your screen. If it is not, feel free to message, comment, find me on YouTube, Google, Facebook, Instagram, however it is that you follow me. You can feel free to message me, text me if you've got my cell. More than happy to answer those questions. I do not see any questions in there right now, so I think that we're good. But just because this is over, again, it's going to be available for playback. So if you are watching via playback and have a question, do you need to go over anything that we went over tonight in a little bit more detail, or have a question about it, don't hesitate to comment there. Make sure you subscribe. And I will see you all next Tuesday at 9:15 Central Standard Time here in the US. So have a great evening. Have a great week. Don't forget about your personal commitments. Make them to yourself. Again, you're the one holding yourself accountable. If you are looking for an accountability partner, so somebody who you can say, hey, I'm going to make these commitments. I really want to stick with them. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to be an accountability partner for you and join you. And if you say, okay, kind of make sure that I stick and stay on track, I will be more than happy to be that person for you. So everybody take care. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Work your business a little bit at a time, guys. It truly, truly helps. And not anything else. So I'll talk to you next week. Take care.